I saw Jerry just did a video about being disappointed that big names in the YouTube community, which is kind of, YouTube as far as being a community, in my opinion, if you want to know, here's a story. I'm going to get real for you in this video in a way that I don't typically, because I want to focus on positive things. I want to focus on things that are doable for me and things that motivate me, not things that like detract from my motivation or things that bring me down, bum me out. Because there are things, of course, like a normal person, that do bum me out. One of those things is when I think of YouTube as a community. To be honest with you, to be 100% completely honest, there are individuals on YouTube that I think are good people, that I think are very good people. But as far as if I start to think in community, like in mass, that's disappointing to me all the time. And it's not just, I'm not just picking on YouTube. YouTube's just a medium. It's a microcosm. Jerry disappointed that people with a lot of pull, making money on YouTube and related to YouTube, that they weren't out there looking for donations or soliciting donations or trying to motivate people to donate to the Hurricane Harvey victims and what's going on down there. And I touched on this yesterday morning, not in that way, but in what we have done, what little we have done. But then we can only do a little with everything that we do. And I'm going to get into that. You better believe that, why that is. But I've been disappointed in those regards for a long time. A long time. All right. Years ago, my ex and I opened a gym, and it was an awesome gym. That's a whole different story. Of course, didn't make it for a number of reasons. One of which is I didn't have my mind in the right place. I wasn't focused, and to tell you the truth, but it's a lot of work and it's a lot of hours and et cetera, et cetera. Anyhow, almost made it, but not quite. Amidst that, we did a fundraiser because the local community, or the town, they had a huge festival every year. And it just so happened the festival rolled around. So we decided, because, I had access to friends, very, very close friends. We used to lift at my house in one of the outbuildings out there, the big outbuilding. We used to live, like I don't know how big, massive, 2-story, huge, like warehouse almost. We used to live there together, and we lifted all over the place, and we were in the gym now together, our gym. And they were guys that currently held world records in powerlifting. And we had top name people, the top guys. I mean, Gene Richlack had come down there, 1,000-pound bencher and more, world record holder. The record kept going back and forth between him and Scott Mendelson. Brian Weston, Jeff McVicker, Bobby Fields. Just the list goes on and on and on. On and on and on. And we just, kindred people associate with each other. Who do you think people like, we hang out with each other? It's not like just, oh, there's such and such, I want to run over and get to know him. No, it's everybody has some friend circle, and like people associate with like people. And we trained together, we hung out together, all that shit. We were, really close. In fact, we used to move to the same areas together to be closer around each other. We decided we're going to go to this big festival, this fair, and we're going to have a huge charity event and put on a demonstration like they've never seen. We'll have girls there benching 400 pounds, women, attractive women. We'll have guys squatting 900, 1,000 pounds. We'll have, all these guys benching 800 pounds, live. And, I'll get a megaphone and we'll raise money for the pediatric oncology wing at Johns Hopkins University. It's children who have cancer. Johns Hopkins sent us out 2 huge boxes of bracelets that you got, these support bracelets, rubber support bracelets, that you could wear, for a donation, even if you just donated $1. So I had these visions. We're going to make so much money for this cause. It's going to be incredible. The show we're going to put on, and just for donations, we're going to make a lot of money. And all the characters that we had there. We had Tommy Rosella, who's there, who's going to roll up a frying pan. He could roll 2 frying pans up, one into the other. Tear phone books in half, he did all that. Blow up the hot water bottle to a burst. Did all the old time strength feats. Plus he was just super, super strong. Deadlift, God knows how much. Bench, he was 600-pound raw bencher. Good friend of mine. I've known Tommy for many years. We're all from the same areas, same neighborhood. So we figured, man, this is going to make a shitload of money. Well, the woman at Hopkins that I spoke to, when they put me in touch with her, public relations or whatever she did, they weren't used to this kind of thing. She actually said to me, people don't do this. We don't really have people come out and do this. So that's the first red flag there, that an organization that large, taking care of children with cancer, many terminal, some don't even have parents. Think of that. Some were in the system or whatever, didn't even have parents, and they have cancer. And who's going to adopt a child with cancer who's dying? Not a whole lot of people. And a lot of these kids are not going to see the outside of that hospital. So with all this going on, you would figure that huge organization, they would have tons and tons of donations of every nature and every kind, and you would have people out there doing fundraisers, raising money, but no. They get their donations, but from big donators, altruistic type of businesses and I guess individuals that are well off. But as far as people thinking to put together fundraisers, it was so rare that she told me that they're not even used to handling. It doesn't really happen. People don't do it. And so she was very impressed by that. But she also pointed out to me, she said, I don't want to discourage you, Mr. Vest, but please understand it's a lot harder than you think to get money out of people's pockets. It's much harder than you think. So I wouldn't get too excited about it and set yourself up for a lot of discouragement, just if you don't have the success that you're hoping for. But they sent us the boxes, the bracelets, everything else. So she was our contact. So we did the event. And I thought, we're going to make a fuckload of money for these kids. And you know what? You know where the money came from that we made? The money we made were checks that were written and monies that were donated by us, the participants, our group of friends, people, us, the money that we donated. That was the bulk of the money. The huge majority of what we could raise was just raised by us. We could have done that sitting around shooting the shit, playing poker, or just having a drink out back of, when we used to hang at my house all the time, by the pool, without having, or my ex's house, without having to even put on this show. It was so, people would stand there, they videotape this thing. We had a tow company up the street, and this guy owned this huge tow company, and I can't remember the gentleman's name, and it's so horrible because he deserves plenty of credit. And everybody said, well, he's not going to help you, all the community. Well, he won't help because, he's really difficult to work with. He's really known to be like kind of a grouch. He's really not. Well, I called him and spoke to him, told him what we were trying to do, and that what we could use would be if we could have like a flatbed, like a tractor trailer flatbed to, do our performance on, to lift on, but we'd have to have it balanced and all that, right? Man, he was on board. He got a rig and a truck, a flatbed. He sent it down, no charge, helped us out, set it up, balanced it. We had a monolift on it and some really good, high-quality benches. And we put all this stuff out there, took all the equipment out there early to do the show and put it all up. And people wouldn't give. People sat out there and videoed it. People took pictures of it. People cheered. People were all over the place out front. And people wouldn't give. You would go out there trying to collect even $1 in the midst of all this, and people would be like, oh, no thanks. And let me tell you how disappointed I was. I was so disappointed that it was unfathomable to me that people could do that or think that way or not realize. And literally, I'm going to tell you the truth, literally, I thought to myself, what? What'd you say? No thanks. Better give me that motherfucking dollar. You know, this is what I thought. This is what was in my head, of course. But you can't do what's in your head all the time. You know? In fact, the shit that's in my head, especially at that point in time, be better off not doing any of that at all. And so I was so bummed out. I was bummed out for weeks after that. But all these people that donated their time and got up there and lifted all this tons of weight and put on this hell of a show, all these awesome people, and literally, I think we raised, I think it was less than $50. I think it was less than $50, you know, from the crowd. The rest of it was what we had donated. So that was my first brush with learning that, man, you can do whatever, you can put on all kind of shit, but it's hard to get that money out of people's pockets, which it doesn't even make sense. If you talk about it, nobody's, you know, oh yeah, I can't support children with cancer who are dying in a hospital. I don't. Nobody will say that. But when it comes time to actually pony up even $1, you'd be amazed at how hard it is to get $1 out of somebody's pocket. So now today, Gorilla with a Cause, okay, we have 40,000, right, 40,400 or whatever, or something. You know how much we receive in donations? Not much. Now we have a core group that they do donate. And we have had people donate $100. We had one person donate, I think, $500 one time. So we have had donations, and that's really helped a lot to do the things that we do. But we do this every day. We live this. We live this. It's not just when something bad happens. Something bad happens to somebody all the time, everywhere. Something bad happens to somebody, you know, on a daily. And you know, God help me, I haven't videotaped this shit. I have taken my camera with me a couple of times and started to videotape it. And then I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I couldn't bring myself to do it. But I think that's where it has to go. But I don't want it to be like exploitative. I don't want to be exploiting anyone who's down on their luck and in a bad place, suffering or anything else. But we do, and this is nothing new. I'm not telling you something that I haven't already told you before. You know, all the shit that we do. People that can't afford their medication. And I don't have time to sit there. I'm not a social worker. I don't have all this knowledge about everything that's available. I don't have time to sit down with this person and spend hours to figure out, you know, if they qualify for this assistance, that assistance, who to call, put them in touch with. Now, you don't have money for medication, you need medication, here's money for medication. That's what I can do. That's what I can do. That's what I have time to do. But do I have money to do it? Same thing for people being hungry. Same thing for people who don't have any clothes on their back. Same thing for, you know, families that are getting ready to be evicted. We do all of that. We do all of that. And the reason it's called Gorilla, Guerrilla, is because of my network of close friends. I have one friend who is like a deer slayer. And I mean, he is such an outdoors guy, such an outdoorsman. This is a guy that goes out in the middle of nowhere and just lives 4 months a year. Just gets dropped off, and a quarter of the year, he just stays out there, and or a third of the year, for 4 months, he just goes out there and stays out in the middle of nowhere with no supplies, takes nothing with him at all, and survives. And just loves every minute of it. I mean, he is like, and he's my best friend. I've known him since he was 16 years old. I got him into working out. And he's just, what an awesome, sweet guy. But he, I can't say who he is because, I mean, he kills deer like by the fucking boatload. He kills deer with air rifles even. You know, like $5,000, $6,000 air rifles that have like a scuba tank is what you charge a rifle with. And yeah, and they're not quiet, but they're semi-quiet, shoot a 25 caliber bullet. He had the only confirmed and recorded kill of a deer in at least North America, if not the world, but at least North America, that was recorded. It was on the internet, on his sponsors page, with an air rifle. But he was the first. I don't know if anybody's done it since. I don't know why they wouldn't have, I guess. But same thing with fish, every other thing. And when he can always, when I was getting bigger and I was eating meat, even up to 2 years ago, he would bring me like 5-6 pounds of backstrap, deer tenderloin, 5-6 pounds of rockfish fillets, both at a time, like every week, because it's that plentiful. And there was, well, I'm not going to get into exact circumstances, but there have been times when people didn't have food and they were barely making it, and we've just taken what we had. What do we have in the freezer? Oh, we have 5 pounds of backstrap. Take it over to them and give it to them. This is what we got. Take it over, give them rockfish fillets. Whatever we can get, however we can get it, wherever we can apply it. That's what we do, and that's where the Guerrilla comes from. That spelling. That kind of thing. So, yeah, I've been disappointed a long time. This is my life. This is what I do every day, and you can't. It's. You would think out of 40,000 subscribers that if everybody donated $1 a month, my God, we wouldn't even be considering or having this conversation. And we would, in an event like Hurricane Harvey, we would be down there with a whole team with that kind of money every month. And we would be doing anything we could do. We'd take boats down there. We'd do everything we could do. We would, for that kind of money, you'd see us on the news. Because that's how much shit we would be influencing. That's how many, compared to what we do now with so little, with almost nothing, yeah. So, yeah, I've been disappointed a long time. But I try not to focus on it. I've been so disappointed about it that there's been plenty of times where I thought to myself, I don't really need to keep doing this YouTube shit because I'm still doing what I'm doing, and this YouTube shit isn't really, law of diminishing returns. I've thought about it plenty of times. And then you have the busters and the haters and remarks and and it just leads you to start to believe that the majority of society is shit. That's what it leads you to believe. You start to believe, the majority of mankind today is fucking shit. But that's not true. That's not true. It's just that the minority, they seem to be those that stand out the most. They're most outlandish, and so they get all the notice and all the they get all the fucking fanfare. You hear about it more and you see it more. It's out there in your face and it spreads. Negativity spreads faster than positivity, but positivity sticks because when you do something positive, it feels good, and when you discover that, then positivity tends to stick. But yeah, I'm disappointed a lot. And I'm not going to dwell on it because I have before and it's not good. It just brings everything down. So I've been playing with the idea for a long time that I need to start the video, what we actually do on the street. But a lot of things we do on the street, I don't even know if it's legal. I don't care, but I don't know. I know it's right. But there are ordinances and places that you can go in this country where it's against the law to feed homeless people. It's fucking against the law to hand a homeless person something to eat in some places, literally. That wouldn't, I don't balk at a law like that. I don't stop and even look at that. That's, So, yeah, disappointment because people don't turn out for this huge thing. Now that so many are suffering, I already am well aware that people don't turn out for any of this stuff. And it's every day. So, it's every day, man. So if you want to help, donate some money to Gorilla with a Cause, 100% of that. Actually, like 250% of that goes to literally one-on-one help someone in need. And who we help and how we help is determined by me. And the reason for that is because, like I said, 250% or better goes toward helping someone directly. Because it's my dime. We're operating on my dime. Unfortunately, we're not operating on donations. We do what we can with what we get. Some people have donated toothbrushes. That's an awesome donation. Some people have donated various things like that. Socks. That's an awesome donation. You know, all these things are needed too. Tangible goods, things that I would have to buy otherwise, and I do. So that's even good. That's awesome. It doesn't have to be money. But a lot of people, it's easier to donate money because they don't really want to allot the time to go out and buy whatever it is or find whatever it is the best price and obtain it and ship it to us. And some people do that, and I appreciate the hell out of it. And I know who all those people are, and that's why every single person, and we're going to do it of course again this year, every person that has ever sent a nickel my way to help people, whether it's through support by buying merchandise, or whether it's just sending money, or whether it's sending toothbrushes or toothpaste, or whether it's any of that, we send a Christmas card to. I sign a Christmas card and send it. Every single person. Now, yeah, that's really sweet and grateful of me, isn't it? Maybe, I guess it is. It's the right thing to do. But the downside of that is that I'm able to do it. That the numbers are not so significant. So, you know, they are significant. I don't mean that the numbers are not so overwhelming that I can't possibly accomplish it. I can accomplish it. It's plenty of people, but I do it. I buy the Christmas cards. You know, don't expect each one's going to be a one-off Hallmark card or something because you know we can't afford that. But there's boxes of kind of generic Christmas cards. They're still cool. I pick them out, and we send every single person a Christmas card just as a note of thanks, just to say, I friggin' appreciate you. You know, I appreciate you. So disappointments are plenty. They're plentiful. And I'm disappointed frequently, but I don't focus on it so much now. But, you know, do what you can do. This is what we do. So I try to make videos once in a while to remind people what Gorilla with the Calls is, because it never stops, doesn't stop. It's an all-day, 24/7 life for those out there suffering and living that. And that's all over the country. And it's all over the world. And that's why one of the coolest things that can happen is all you guys, each one of you guys, man, make a YouTube page if you have time. Put some videos up about Gorilla with the Calls. Push it along. You know, promote yourself and promote what we believe at the same time in the spirit of brotherhood and camaraderie. And, you know, many voices in the wilderness are a lot louder than one. And start up grassroots, similar types of things where you're at so you can help those around you locally. And help comes in a lot of forms. Doesn't always require money. But unfortunately, the world we live in, you know, money's the coin of the realm. But there's a lot of other ways you can help. You can help people with a kind word. You can help infirm or people that are in poor health or whatever, and you see them outside, or, you know, you can help them carry their groceries. You can help them, you know, anything, man. The holiday season comes. You got a neighbor or a family friend or somebody that's high on the list that bad people would look at and consider a potential victim. You know, I don't know how it is all over the rest of the world, but around, not right here, but like Baltimore and the nearest city, and even the cities in PA, you know, older people and infirm people are picked off around the holiday season when they're out shopping. So take people shopping, escort people shopping, go shopping with people. You know, make it fun. It doesn't have to be all uptight and stuff like you're there some kind of security, even though you are. You know, show them a good time, have fun with it. It's a good experience. It'll feel better than you think it will. And do whatever you can do, whatever that might be, man. Got some really quiet, introverted, timid, meek person. You know, blessed are the meek. I believe that shit. If you know somebody like that, the world tends to walk and trample over those kind of people and push them right out of the way. Don't let it happen if you see it. And moreover than that, support them, befriend them, give them encouraging words. What the hell does that cost? Nothing. You know, pat them on the back. Say, hey man, how you doing today? Just speak to people, man. You'd be surprised how much you can accomplish just doing that. I do it all the time. There's, in fact, a guy at the gym. I'm not even going to say which gym because it's a gym that I videotape at. And he appears to have Down syndrome. I think he's probably, I don't know, it's hard to say how old. I can't guess the age. But he comes in with his dad and they train together. And they've been coming and training for a while now. Now, when I first saw him, you know, I, of course, spoke to the guy. I saw him and in passing said, hey man, how you doing? Waved to him. And he just like looked at me. Didn't say anything. And like next time I saw him, which was, I don't know, 2 weeks later, a week later, hey brother, how are you, man? How you doing? And he kind of just looked at me and nodded a little bit, kept going, didn't really say anything. And this went on for a little while. And now today, when I see the guy or he sees me, you know, he speaks to me, hey man, how are you? How you doing? Or I'll say, hey, how you doing? And he's like, I'm good, how are you? You know, or hello, how are you? And you know what? The sad thing is, I think that the reason that initially he didn't know what to make of that is because people don't reach out to him. People see him and they see that he's different. And I don't know why, but their inclination is to not, I don't know, recognize and validate just his presence and existence by just saying hi. You know? I don't know. And I think he just didn't know how to take it initially because he wasn't accustomed to it. Which is a sad, sad thing in itself, and a whole other topic. So go on out there today and be good, man. Be good, be decent. Be good and be decent. You know, believe what I'm telling you. I have no motivation to lie to you. I have no motivation to tell you something that's, if I tell you it's good, there's no motivation for me to be telling you a lie. Because this is more... It's more for me to do, attached to my regular life, things I have to do around here, on this property, and getting ready for winter, and putting up wood, you know, moving it so it's closer. You know, there's just so much shit to do that I don't need to do this. This isn't something I need to stroke my ego. Anyway, let's go have a good day. I gotta get ready to go to the gym, man. Let's not be disappointed. Shake that shit off. It is what it is. And it is the reality. And the lowest common denominator appeals to the majority the most and the best. And elicits the biggest response. And people, I believe that people overall are good at heart. But we live in a society that doesn't highlight that as much and as often as it probably should have, so it seems like it's not typical, and it should be typical. So in those regards, be atypical then. Be good, be kind, be decent, be loving, be compassionate, be a humane human being. What do you got to lose? Take care. Have an awesome day.